Welcome to a release video. If you'd like to know the details and the benefits of what this release will do, please read the notes in the caption below. What you'll need is a physio ball, tennis ball, golf ball, if that's what you've got, and if you don't have any balls, you could improvise with a lemon or an apple. You will also need a small rolled up towel or a smaller bathroom or beach towel. Starting with the ball, ideally doing this standing, but if standing for a period of time is too difficult, you can do it seated on the floor. On a chair, you would keep the chair close to you so that you've got the ball and your leg fairly close to your body. Ideally standing, you're going to start from your big toe. You're going to roll that ball towards your heel and back up again. Then you're going to go from your middle toes, roll, put pressure on that ball to your heel, back up again. And then from your baby toes, more so the outside of that foot to the heel and back up. And when you get up, I want you to try and pick the ball up with your toes. Then you're going to repeat it. I'm going to do it at a slightly different angle so you can see from the big toe all the way through the inside of your foot to your heel and back up the same direction. Middle toes rolling all the way to your heel and back up again. Baby toe towards the outside of your foot, rolling back up again, and try and pick up that ball with your toes. Repeat on the other foot, starting on the big toe, rolling down, paying attention to how that feels and where there's tender spots. Don't be scared of them. Don't be too scared to apply some pressure there. Perhaps if there's some places that are really painful, after this release video, you could go back and just put a bit of gentle pressure on that sensitive spot. When you get back to the top, try and pick the ball up with your toes and then repeat from the big toe all the way to the heel and back up. Middle toes down to the heel and back up. Baby toes down to the heel, back up again, and then go to lift the ball up with your toes. Right, pop that ball out of your way. We're then going to add a little bit of ankles and still your feet. Just draw yourself up towards the ceiling and then draw yourself deeply into the floor. Up to the ceiling and deeply into the floor. Just one more time and then deeply into the floor. Next, thinking of our hips, you're going to start by hitching one hip up, bring it down. Other hip up, bring it down. And do about 5 each side. Really lift that hip, trying to loosen them up as much as possible. One more each side. Next, taking your first leg, taking a step as though you're making a T with your feet stepped away, and then that same movement towards the back. Your stable leg stays the same. So stepping forward and stepping back. Let your hips just roll with that movement. If you want to, that stable leg heel can lift gently off the floor. Your focus is letting your hips roll with that back and forth. And switching leg, just stepping forward, let your hips roll with that movement forward and back. Let's have it one more time, and then coming back to your feet, hip distance apart. I want you to imagine you have a pencil poking out of your vaginal bottom. What you're going to do is draw a figure of 8 with that pencil, as big and wide as you can. So you're just drawing a nice big circle, one way then the other. So really visualize that figure of 8. What you're going to do is slow down and then go back the other way. So doing the same figure of 8, just in the opposite direction. And bringing that to a smaller figure of 8 and relax. We're going to take our hands, cup together, keeping your thumb in on the outside of your rib cage. Just whilst I'm close here, I want you to feel what it feels like when you turn to look over one shoulder. The shoulder you're looking over, feel those ribs become pointy underneath your fingers. So I want you to notice that feeling. And what we're going to do is each side that you look over, you're going to squeeze your ribs together on the side that your ribs are getting pointy. Breathing into the center. Breathing out as you look over your first shoulder and squeeze your rib cage. Breathing back into the center. Breathing out as you look on the opposite shoulder, squeeze your rib cage. Breathing into the center, squeeze your rib cage as you look over your shoulder. One more time on the other side, breathing into the center, squeeze as you look over the other shoulder. Next thing we're going to do for the rib cage is just give it a light, gentle rub all the way around the bottom of the ribs. And then we're going to take a breath in as you reach up towards the ceiling and over. We're going to do two more things with that. You're going to pat your rib cage as you bend over the side. You're also going to breathe out as you bend over with the sound S. So you're going to breathe your S out, your breath out with an S. So breathing in and nice long S. Breathing into the center and one more time. Relax that arm. Other side, breathing in and out. One more time. Lovely. Just gently swing those arms for me, back and forth, and then gently over and across your chest, alternating which arm is on top when you swing. Relax those shoulders, letting them drop gently away from your ears. On this next move, you're going to turn just your head and see how far you are able to turn and look. Notice where you are looking. Coming back to the center, same thing on the other side. Turning your head gently to see how far over your shoulder you can look whilst your chest stays in the center. You're going to stay there, just coming closer so you can see what you'll do next. So we're going to loosen our neck. What you're going to do is stick your tongue straight out and then aim to touch the top of your shoulder, ear, bottom of your ear 7 times. Out hold, out the side. That's 7. You may wipe the slobber. Other side, straight out and to the opposite ear. 7 times, wipe the slobber. Now we're going to repeat the move where you're going to turn, look over your shoulder, follow with your eyes, and notice how much further you can go. Opposite shoulder, turn, look with your eyes, and using your eyes also helps to relieve all the tension in your neck too. Lovely stuff. So starting with the smaller towel, you could move up to a bigger, slightly thicker and longer towel as you progress with release work. We're going to lay on the towel with it over your tailbone and up your spine, making sure that you feel relatively comfortable laying on that. If not, then make your towel smaller. You're going to have your knees bent, feet flat, arms relaxed. First thing you're going to do is shimmy your hips side to side on that towel. So doing about 7 to 10 shimmies. Bring yourself back to the center. From there, you're going to tuck your tailbone under and then tilt your pelvis forward. Tucking under, tilting forward. Same thing, 7 to 10 moves on that tuck under and then tipping forward. So rocking your pelvis back and forth. Come back to neutral, settled in the center. I want you to imagine 4 points. You've got your top right point, your left right point, bottom left, bottom right. And we're going to go from each point like a square or a clock, whatever helps you visualize better, whilst tucking under and moving over. So the first thing you're going to do is drop to the right hand top corner. And you're going to tuck your tailbone under, then shift to the left, stick your tailbone out. Go over to the right, tuck it under, over to the left, stick it out. And keep rocking on that 4-point or clockwise motion. Whatever works for you in visualizing that rocking and shifting from right to left. Pause it there. We're going to go in the opposite direction. So your tailbone's tucked under and you're on the right hand side. You're going to stick your tailbone out, cross over to the left, tuck your tailbone under, cross over to your right. Now keep going in that direction. Tailbone out, over to the left, tuck it in, over to the right. Few more rounds. Going into the anti-clockwise direction. And come back to the center. Finish that with a shimmy side to side again. Now, a great way of assessing yourself through this release work is starting with a few lateral breaths and then finishing with a few lateral breaths. So we're going to lay ourselves down on the floor, placing your hands onto your chest, fingertips loosely touching. If you stay there, just showing you sitting up, fingertips loosely touching as you go through some rest breaths. So in through the nose and out through that relaxed face. Trying to get those fingertips to slide away and come back together as you breathe out by moving those lower ribs out to the side towards your elbows and just letting that rib cage relax as you breathe out. One more time. Taking that breathing, and we're going to do a few rounds of box breathing. That's going to be in for 4 seconds, holding for 4 seconds, breathing out for 4 seconds, then holding for 4 seconds. Getting ready to breathe with me. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe normally or gently continue. Really good for helping to calm down your nervous system. Any questions? Please do let me know.